Hi, I'm Alison from Alison's Astrology, and I'm here to talk to you today about the week beginning the 15th of December, 15th to 21st, and it begins with a full moon at 23 Gemini, and this has probably already happened by the time you're listening to this. And this is a an important full moon because it's the last one of the year, and there's a quickness to it, a versatility about this moon. You know, it's a mutable full moon across Sagittarius and Gemini, with the sun there in Sag and the moon in Gemini. It's got a nervous energy to it that's seeking to make connections and to link our projects, the smaller projects, to the wider life journey, I think. It's an opposition between logic, which is very Gemini, and faith and meaning, which are very Sagittarius, between, you know, establishing connections and finding meaning in those connections. And there's an empathy between the luminaries, the sun and moon, at the moment, because they're rulers. That's Mercury for Gemini and Jupiter for Sagittarius are in each other's signs. So that gives them their own connection and enables us perhaps to see the bigger picture and connect it to our smaller picture as well. And that there's a square to Neptune, a challenge from Neptune, which is all about sort of dreams and spirituality, nostalgia. And this really wants us to connect to something bigger, you know, something bigger that we've been imagining and hoping for. This whole new moon then could signify a stage in a project with the culmination of the lunar cycle. Excuse me, there's always the need to let something go. And this might be in the realm of ideas. Is this, you know, something we've been enjoying but have to let go in order to be able to move on to that next stage? It might be in the realm of ideas, as I said. It might, but if it falls somewhere else in your chart, it might actually be, you know, in the realm of the home or in the realm of your friendship connections. It could be anywhere, but something that you need to just let go. It's maybe not signifying so much, or maybe it's moved on to another stage in its development at this point. And the challenge from Neptune is definitely telling us to remember our dreams as we move forward. And the full moon, ruled, as I said, by Mercury, is turning direct this evening. Mercury turning direct is always a positive, you know, let's get on with it kind of a feeling to it. And it's doing that at 6 degrees 23 in Sagittarius. And it's giving us the green light to move forward with our projects, really. Things that we've been mulling over or working on during the last 3 weeks might now be picking up momentum, actually, you know, and we're now thinking, yes, actually, this is it. I'm doing this now. This is moving on. This is actually happening. Whereas before we may have been hesitating, not signing on that dotted line, as it were. But now we're thinking, yes, this is it. I've kind of done all the exploration. I've done the research. This is the one. This is the moment. This is where we move forward. So progress might seem to be a bit slow at first, but it should pick up momentum early in the new year on these projects when Mercury gets out of that shadow period and goes past that point at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, where it originally turned retrograde. So moving on tentatively, I think, you know, slowly trying to collect everything together, keeping everything balanced. This is something of a theme here, and keeping always those dreams in mind, you know. The final goal, the long-term vision, that's important too. And the second big event this week is the winter solstice. So there are 4 cardinal points of the year, and that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So as the sun enters Capricorn on the 21st of December, we get to the final cardinal point of the year, that point where the sun is at its lowest, when the nights, in the Northern Hemisphere at least, are at their longest. And at that point, there's almost like a pause, you know, like you pause in breath. So, and then the sun turns and it starts its journey back towards the spring, as it were, back towards the light for all of us in the Northern Hemisphere. Slightly different, the reverse, of course, in the Southern Hemisphere. So that's at about 20 past 9 in the morning in the UK, 20 past 10 in Europe on the 21st of December. And this moving upwards towards the light, this really completes that liminal period of darkness that followed Samhain. And with the sun in cardinal Capricorn, there's a new note of initiative and determination that comes into the solar energy. Capricorn is an earth sign. The symbol is the sea goat. So the sea goat has the tail in water, which shows its underlying spirituality. And that makes sense with Saturn being on the boundary of the inner and the outer planets, the personal planets, and those outer planets, which are much more to do with big social movements. So Saturn, in a sense, is our container, and it has that sense of transition, if you like, that the moving beyond Saturn is transitioning into a much wider realm. And this is our boundary, our structure. Saturn symbolizes responsibility, and it aims to build security in the shape of material and social structures. So where is Saturn? At the moment, it's in Pisces. And in Pisces, of course, it's all about emotion. It's about feeling. So it's hard for Saturn to put down solid foundations in that kind of watery element. Pisces is also about spirituality, though, of course. You know, so there's an affinity there with the sea part of the sea goat. But Saturn here is aiming to kind of bring our dreams together and make them more solid and more real. And it's also longing for something more emotional and compassionate. But equally, it wants to contain us because it has that fear of that Neptunian Piscean chaos, you know, where we just kind of dissolve into that, that kind of, not emptiness, I don't want to say, but that fusion with everything. And Saturn is more about keeping us contained as people, you know, individuals in this realm. So it's finding again that balance between being spiritual, following our dreams, building our dreams, but letting our imagination have free reign, and also, you know, writing our stories in our heads, writing the story of our lives as well as we go. There's that kind of balance to be found here. And the solstice sun this year is squaring the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon are almost like destiny points. And at the moment, the north node is in Aries, soon to move into Pisces in January, and the south node is in Libra. So this is suggesting here the challenge that's involved now in taking the initiative and building those stable structures. Again, we have this theme, the challenge of creating a place, if you like, either social or personal, where compromise and relationship in the sense of the South Node in Libra are balanced by the need to pursue our personal goals, that North Node in Aries. So this is highlighted with Saturn being in Pisces, and also as it's opposed to the Virgo moon, and forms a T-square, a mutable T-square with Jupiter and Mercury. And this T-square, grand cross with Mercury involved as well. And this grand cross has a dynamic, adaptable and restless feel, mutable, you know, nothing's quite settled or decided. It could go in various directions. So again, you know, we have that personal agency with Saturn and Capricorn, wanting to take the initiative and kind of impose some structure on this. But nothing's quite settled, so it has to wait a little bit. It has to learn how to kind of juggle that in order to kind of put down its structures, build its structures, and create its foundations. So this sun square the nodes is also, you know, representing that challenge of personal agency, and it's to do as well with how we integrate this social change and social constraint into our lives and relationships. You know, there's a lot happening in the world out there, and none of it's particularly stable at the moment. So we want to find our boundaries and find our ability to actually influence what's happening in some way. And that's challenging, definitely. So I think for each of us, the period from now until March, when the sun moves into Aries, could be a period where we move forward in a way that has to keep adapting to shifting situations and circumstances. It's something actually, that's probably being mirrored a little bit by Mars in Leo, still making that opposition to Pluto and returning to that question of how we as individuals contribute to society. What do we do? How can we use our personal power in a positive way? On a positive note, though, Mercury is direct in this solstice chart, and both the sun and the moon are in compatible earth signs, so they offer a certain material harmony. They're sharing material goals, if you like, and then the possibility of feeling our way steadily forward with that direct Mercury. Yeah, possibility of feeling our way steadily forward and just adapting gradually to things as they change. So that's the end of the summary for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. So I'll see you then. Bye bye.